Picture this. You finally agree to go on a date. You're excited, but you've already mapped out 3 escape plans, just in case. The moment you sit down, they're beaming with energy, talking a mile a minute, and before you can even look at the menu, you've been introduced to half the room. Somehow, they've told your life story like it's a best-selling novel, added 3 unnecessary details, and ordered drinks for both of you without asking. For you, silence is golden. For them, silence is a problem to solve. And while you're wondering if you'll get a moment to breathe, they're wondering why you're so quiet. That's when it hits you. You're not just on a date, you've entered the wild, unpredictable world of dating an extrovert. And if you're an introvert, it feels less like romance and more like cultural shock. When an introvert dates an extrovert, the differences show up almost immediately. For the extrovert, Friday night means going out, being surrounded by people, and feeding off the energy of a busy room. For the introvert, Friday night means curling up at home, recharging with a warm drink, and feeling completely alive in the silence. This isn't about right or wrong, it's about energy. Extroverts gain energy by being around people, like a phone charging when it's plugged in. Introverts, on the other hand, lose energy in social situations, like a phone running out of battery. So what feels exciting for one can feel completely exhausting for the other. Take parties, for example. For an extrovert, a crowded room is like stepping into a theme park. Every person is a ride they can't wait to try. They want to talk to everyone, dance, laugh, and stay until the lights turn on. For the introvert, that same room feels like a survival game. Too much noise, too many people, too many conversations all happening at once. While the extrovert is introducing themselves to strangers, the introvert is busy scanning the room for the quietest corner, or better yet, the exit. And the funny part, the extrovert thinks the introvert is just shy or mysterious. But really, the introvert is calculating how long they need to stay before it's socially acceptable to sneak out. To the extrovert, leaving early means missing out. To the introvert, leaving early means finally breathing again. Communication is another battlefield when an introvert dates an extrovert. Extroverts think out loud. They process ideas by talking. To them, silence feels heavy, even awkward. If there's no conversation, they start wondering if something's wrong. Introverts, on the other hand, think before they speak. They like pauses, reflection, and carefully choosing their words. For them, silence isn't uncomfortable, it's a form of connection. It's peace. Imagine this in everyday life. A car ride, for example. The extrovert starts talking 5 seconds after the door closes about the weather, the news, their coworker's dog, or even a random thought about how cereal milk tastes different depending on the bowl. Meanwhile, the introvert is quietly enjoying the hum of the engine, staring out the window, perfectly content. To the extrovert, this silence is an emergency. They ramp up the chatter. By the time they arrive, they've gone through 5 topics, a full recap of their week, and even a dramatic monologue about why the neighbor's lawn looks suspiciously like a crime scene. Another example, texting. Extroverts often text quickly, send long chains of messages, and expect fast replies. For introverts, texting is a thoughtful process. They might take hours or even a day to respond, carefully crafting their words. To the extrovert, this feels like being ghosted. To the introvert, it's called self-care. And here's the kicker. Both think the other is the odd one in. The extrovert wonders why the introvert is so quiet, so slow to respond, so unwilling to share everything. The introvert wonders why the extrovert can't just stop talking for 5 minutes. Daily routines show the clash between introverts and extroverts even more clearly. Extroverts love to fill their calendar. Brunch with friends, a workout, a networking event, maybe a late-night gig. They feed off activity. For them, a day without plans feels like a day wasted. Introverts, on the other hand, protect their calendar like it's national treasure. They need downtime built in, quiet mornings with coffee, evenings without loud noise, weekends with zero obligations. One social event a week might already feel like a marathon. To them, an empty day isn't wasted time, it's a gift. Now imagine these two in a relationship. The extrovert wakes up energized, ready to seize the day. The introvert wakes up wondering if their soul has enough batteries to make it to noon. For the extrovert, last-minute plans are exciting. They see adventure, surprise, and stories to tell. For the introvert, last-minute plans are terrifying. They see unpredictability, emotional exhaustion, and a sudden need for an escape plan. Picture this. It's Saturday morning. The extrovert texts, "Let's go to a music festival." The introvert stares at their phone, breathing slowly. Their brain runs through a checklist. Did I charge my mental energy? Do I have quiet time planned afterward? Will there be a place to sit quietly? By the time they reply, it's late, and the extrovert is already halfway out the door. And here's the punchline. While the extrovert calls it spontaneous fun, the introvert quietly calls it emergency survival mode, complete with a mental checklist and a secret vow to hide under a blanket later. Conflict is where introvert-extrovert differences really stand out. Extroverts process problems by talking them through immediately. They want to lay it all out, the problem, feelings, possible solutions, right away. Silence feels like avoidance to them. They believe the faster the discussion, the faster the resolution. Introverts process internally. They need time to reflect before speaking. Sometimes they need hours, days, or even weeks. To them, conflict isn't a puzzle to solve instantly. It's something to sit with quietly until they found the right words. Imagine this. The extrovert comes home frustrated about something at work. They want to discuss it right away, pacing the living room and talking through every detail. The introvert hears it, but doesn't respond immediately. They're processing, trying to figure out what to say. To the extrovert, silence looks like disinterest. To the introvert, speaking too soon feels like saying something without clarity. Another example, a disagreement about weekend plans. The extrovert says, "Let's decide now." The introvert replies quietly, needing time to think. The extrovert interprets it as avoidance or lack of care. The introvert interprets the push as pressure, which drains them even more. Without understanding these differences, conflicts can spiral. The extrovert feels unheard, the introvert feels overwhelmed. What started as a small disagreement can turn into a bigger emotional divide, unless both partners understand that their communication styles aren't flaws, they're differences in how they engage with the world. The biggest contrast of all isn't just about personality, it's about how introverts and extroverts grow together. For an extrovert, a relationship is an opportunity to share life loudly through constant conversation, adventures, and shared experiences. For an introvert, it's about building a safe space, a quiet place where they can breathe and recharge without feeling pressured. That difference can be a challenge, but it can also be a gift. Extroverts can teach introverts to step outside their comfort zone and embrace more spontaneity. Introverts can teach extroverts the value of stillness, reflection, and deep connection. But balance doesn't happen by accident. It requires understanding, patience, and communication. It's not about one person changing entirely. It's about both learning how to meet in the middle. And when it works, dating an extrovert as an introvert can turn into one of life's richest lessons in empathy, compromise, and personal growth. So what happens when an introvert and extrovert really learn to understand each other? When silence is respected and energy is balanced, the relationship changes. It stops being a battle of personalities and becomes something neither expected, a new way of living and loving. But here's the question nobody talks about. What happens when that balance is tested? When life gets louder, more chaotic, and the differences grow even deeper? Will they still find a way to make it work?